Men have an awesome, just like women can see what's going on with their health every month through their periods, men can see it every time they have an erection. They get to see what's going on with their health because the smallest veins in the human body are in the penis. Okay, so you have veins, and you have capillaries, which are smaller veins for short, and then even smaller are in the penis. So the second a man is having any kind of issues there, that's a vascular issue, it's a cardio issue. That it's a precursor saying, hey, you are on the road of heart disease, right? Because the narrowing of those vessels is already starting to happen, and you're not getting maximum blood flow there, especially as men age. So it's like, it's going to lead to heart attack. That's why it's a direct correlation. So once they start having any kind of issues with that, that's what's really going on a macro level. Okay, welcome everybody. How y'all doing? Hey. Great. I always feel it's like a reunion every time we have class. So we have a finite amount of time, and I know we have about 41 people registered today, so I guess they're on CP time. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I have a couple of announcements before we actually kick off. I know probably in the last few months I've been even harder to get a hold of than normal, which is saying something. But I kind of did a thing, and I'm officially a published author now. So I've been working very hard at this. This is like a textbook for how to do food prep for yourself at home, and it gives some examples of breakfast, lunch, and dinner and things you can prep. That's not what you normally do. Like everyone does brown rice, stuff like that. It's something different. So it's on Amazon if you want it. You can look at it here today if you want. So this has been a labor of love. Other thing that's been taking a little bit more time than normal. Normally my sister is here at this class with me, and it's been a public struggle for about a year, but she's now gone public. So about a year ago, my sister was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I'm not gonna cry today. Okay. Hey April, good to see you. My sister, for those who don't know, she's a police officer. She has 2 young kids, my niece and my nephew, or my nephew and my niece. My nephew is 4, my niece is 1. And she's a sergeant. She's over all this school resource officers in Guilford County. So in August, she finally, after a year, she finally decided to take a leave of absence for work so she could focus on healing. And so she's doing well, but insurance doesn't cover too much. So we do have a GoFundMe for her. So in lieu of donations for the class, if you feel inspired, please feel free to donate. I would appreciate that. And anything you purchase, if you purchase any magnesium spray, that goes to my sister's fund as well, because she's fighting the good fight. I know she's already healed fully. We're just waiting for that time to catch up. And anything you all feel compelled to do would be greatly appreciated, okay? I'm going to stop there so I don't cry, because that's my baby sister. Okay, well, today's lecture is the one I was planning on doing in August, but I actually did it at our event. It's about arousal and desire. It's about beyond the bedroom. That's a topic we really haven't talked on. Of all the years I've done this class, we actually haven't. What's that look, Deb? I saw the look. I saw the look, but no, it's not going to be a raunchy discussion. Okay. Okay, just, and I know some kids might be coming too. So it's just so that we know what's going on. Then we'll play a little game, and then everything we learn about arousal, desire, and attraction, we'll turn that into a meal of what you can do to amplify that, okay? Okay? So, wondering if I send this out, y'all going to cheat and look at the answers. All right, I'm going to ask the question first, then send it out, and then we'll go through, then y'all can cheat for the rest of the class, okay? We'll do it like that. Okay, so it's about vitality. Okay, today's about vitality. So it's not just in the bedroom, but just in your daily life. So just like women, we have a monthly menstrual cycle that is our 5th vital sign. Is a direct cue every month about how the health of our body is. So most women might find it annoying or painful or just just something that has to happen every month, but it's actually an indicator. Every month we get a full indicator of what's actually going on with us. The same thing when it comes to your desire, attraction, and arousal, right? That is an indicator of health, okay? Because everybody on this planet is here because of that in some kind of way, okay? So it is a natural thing for human beings, or for any reproductive, any type of animal, right? So it is a natural thing, all right? So it's understanding that and breaking that down. So to understand intimacy, there's three components, three major components. Does anybody, I kind of said them like a couple times. Desire is one. What's another one? Arousal and attraction. Yes, and I notice when I hear people speaking, sometimes they use those words interchangeably, but they actually mean very distinct things, okay? So before I pass out the answers, let's just try to see if you know. What is attraction? Okay. And we're going to pass the microphone around because this is being recorded. So anybody that speaks in the audience, make sure you have a microphone. I think Letitia was speaking.
I think of attraction. I think in terms of you usually see something. So with your eye gates, you see, and then that eye gate, kind of creates the arousal. Good way to put it.
She hit the nail on the head. So attraction is the spark. Okay, it's the spark. It's what draws you in. That's right. That's right. So then somebody said desire. What's desire?
I think it's fulfillment.
Someone says fulfillment. Anyone have anything else?
Something from what you want
from the inside. We're getting so warm. We're getting so warm.
Desire.
Desire is psychological, right? So it's the mind's wanting. It's you thinking about it. It's like when you think about it and you want it, that's desire. Okay? So then the last part is arousal. What's arousal? Your body's response. Exactly. So that's the physiological response, right? So you have a physiological response, you have a psychological response, and then you have the spark. All right, so those are the three components. So everyone take a sheet and pass it around. It's front and back. Now you could have desire and arousal and no attraction. They don't all have to be present for things to take place. And then I say that, and this might sound, just so you're aware, so if someone's in a case where they are violated and they don't want to, there's no desire, there's no attraction, but the body responds. The body responds still, not because they want it, but it's a protection. Because think about how it would feel if your body didn't respond, how much more painful that could be, how much more you wouldn't want it. And a lot of times, sometimes people feel guilty that their body responded when they mentally didn't want it, but those are completely separate things, and that your body's doing it to protect you, okay? So I just wanted to keep that, just understand those three things. Don't use them interchangeably like that because they mean totally different things, and people struggle with different aspects of intimacy. So understand because you might want it in your mind, but your desire's not there. You might want it, your body might be responding to it, but you may not feel the attraction, okay? Does everybody understand that? Now, don't read ahead now. Stay with me. I'm seeing this. Okay, stay with me. All right. So now we've laid that foundation of those three things. For those things that happen, there's four hormones. There's more than that. The body is, but four main hormones that support those things. Okay. So without looking at your paper, can anybody think of what hormones might play a part in arousal, desire, and attraction? Estrogen. Testosterone. What else? Oxy what? Okay, yes. And dopamine. Okay, I get y'all did not look at the paper, huh? You need a spark.
I knew it was dopamine, but I got CRS.
Oh, I see y'all gonna be fun. Okay, I like this. Okay. All right, so let's start with estrogen. So first and foremost, estrogen is present in both men and women, just as testosterone is present in both men and women. But women have far more estrogen as men have far more testosterone. But both are needed. Both are hormones within the body. So I want to start there, okay? Because you hear a lot of these men say, oh, I don't eat this because of the estrogens in it. But I'm like, but you drink beer, you eat meat. Where do you think the hormones are, okay? You're eating female animals. Right. You're drinking beer, which is, the hops are full of phytoestrogen. Like, come on now. Like, that's not how the body works. So let's start with actual understanding, okay, and not assumptions and marketing, because I always talk about how people are seduced by marketing, okay? So we want to actually understand these things, right? Okay, so estrogen. Estrogen does a lot in the body, but in terms of this particular topic, what does it do? If you don't know. Estrogen for women is what actually supports lubrication, okay? It supports the mood, to actually feel the mood, right? So without it, you can feel like disconnected or not even present. And then towards the end of this lecture, I'll talk about how that affects men in later stages in life and how it affects women in menopause and menopause, because it does change through our seasons of life, right? And those impacts, okay? So when we're talking about estrogen, so that's what its primary purpose is in women. So what are some foods that can support estrogen? Tofu? You said tofu? Absolutely. Yes. So soy products. See, I was just going to look at the sheet, huh? See, I knew I should have passed it out. I want y'all to think first, okay? This is just to reinforce it when you go home. That's okay. I'm going to fix y'all in a little bit. It's just what you would think, you know, because some people will automatically think, because soy gets such a horrible reputation, right? And that's I could have a whole class on that. So you may not necessarily think that. So what other things you think of? So I know this is a plant-based class, but most of the time when you think of aphrodisiac foods, they're going to say wine, right? Oysters. They're going to say oysters. And oysters, yes, because it has high zinc, and we're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about what other things? Conch, yes. You're going to hear those types of things. So on the, chocolate. What kind of chocolate though? Dark chocolate. Nuts and seeds, yes, for different reasons. Caffeine, absolutely not. Nope. And wine, absolutely not. Caffeine is naturally occurring in chocolate, but I'm talking about when you're supplementing additional caffeine that's not naturally occurring. Yep, it's different. Yep, it's a good question. So black cohosh is excellent. We're going to talk about the herbs second. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Black cohosh and red clover and all those things, those are excellent. But those are herbs, so they're talking about the food first. Yeah, food first. You want to have a foundation of what you're doing naturally, and supplements or herbs amplify what you're doing. It's not the foundation. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right. So as y'all already looked at your sheets, okay, I put flax seeds and sesame seeds, chickpeas and lentils. So you have the flax and sesame as a couple of examples of phytoestrogens that mimic in the body, and they're very gentle, right? It's going to help support that. It's going to help with lubrication. It's going to help with mood. The chickpeas, lentils, they provide the proteins that give you the substance to balance. So if something's out of whack, too low or too high, it's going to bring it into hormonal balance. That's what proper healthy proteins do. Then you have the leafy greens, because our livers actually metabolize excesses. So if you have too much estrogen or too much testosterone, like I used to have, your liver is the organ responsible for flushing that out. So you have to have proper bile to flush everything out. Okay, does that make sense? So what blocks that? So we just said what was good for us. So what are some things that block that? I already said no to alcohol. Alcohol, most people want to drink and to get in the mood. Okay. Yep. Especially as we age, that's not helpful. Especially for women, it dries you up. Okay, it will dry you up. It's not good, right? And for men, especially as they get older, it is not going to help with blood flow. Okay, we don't want a gummy situation. We want a firm situation. Okay, all right. So I'm just saying. Okay, so that's really not what you want to do. But again, marketing is everybody starts off with a glass of wine. Or, take some shots to get in the mood. That's not going to get your body in the mood, especially if you're struggling with one of those areas of desire, arousal, or attraction. Okay, and those 4 hormones we're talking about, those things are not going to support producing those hormones. And that's what you want. So when anybody's talking about an aphrodisiac type of thing, if it's not supporting those 4 hormones, it is marketing. So most of these like things, these little pills, it's sugar. So you'll have energy for the moment, right? But it's not addressing why do you feel like you need to take a pill in the first place. Okay, and that's what you want to address. Why do you feel you need to take a pill in the first place? We shouldn't have to do that. So that means we have to understand what's missing. So if you understand, I'm not having the attraction, I'm not having the desire, I'm not having the arousal, then you'll know which hormones are low that you need to increase. That's what we're trying to figure out, okay? And that's what you can do. And then you can go to your healthcare team and get the supplements or herbs, or even if you want to do prescriptions, if that's what you want to do, to help you with that, because now you understand what is actually going on with you. Okay, and you're not gonna get played by these clever little go to the gas station and get this pill real quick, or take you a Red Bull and okay, I'm gonna stop there. Okay, alcohol is a no. We've already established that. Processed food. Bye, Dice. Good to see you. Processed foods. That's an absolute no. Okay, that is not supporting anything because it's really not food. It's chemicals, right? Plastics, those xenoestrogens, we've talked about this in this class a couple of times. So try to avoid drinking out of plastic water bottles and eating out of plastic and reheating your food in plastic, because all those chemicals leach into your food, especially if it's hot, right? Never reheat your food. If you're going to use a microwave, like I always say, don't use Chef Mike. Okay? Reheat on the stove or in an air fryer. Do not use a microwave because you're literally radiating your food. But that's another conversation. But if you so choose to use a microwave, put it in a bowl, a proper bowl. Do not reheat in plastic. Do not reheat in plastic. Okay? You're literally putting chemicals in your food and then you're eating it. All right? And then those phytoestrogens are there. That goes into both men and women. Then you'll see men would have too much estrogen, they have gynecomastia or man boobs, right? Or you see men now, they have hips and butts like women, right? They have fat deposits in places where women tend to have it because of the excess estrogens, and excess estrogens are everywhere. Even on that thermal receipt paper, it's coated in that BPA and it turns into an estrogen in the body. It's everywhere. So if you're not eating healthy so you can detoxify those things, then these are things that are going to plague you when it comes to intimacy or vitality. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And the other thing that can disrupt estrogen is just being overwhelmed. And sometimes that's easier for women to just get overwhelmed because we're doing so many things, helping so many people. That's going to shut down what you got going, what you're trying to feel. Okay? I think we all understand estrogen? Yes. Okay, let's go to testosterone. What's the role of testosterone? Hey, pretty ladies, welcome back.
Fuels desire.
You said what? Oh, okay. What's the sheet say then?
Fuels desire.
Okay, I think I wrote that right. Okay. Yes, it fuels desire in both men and women. Like I said, because women have testosterone too. Okay? But testosterone's focus is to fuel that desire. So that supports the libido. That's the one that gives you the energy to want to do it. The muscle tone, this is why, especially for men, especially as men age, if they want to keep their testosterone levels up, they have to do resistance training. They have to be working out with weights, okay? Because that's what's actually going to naturally build your hormones back, right? Or keep them where they are. Women, you should be doing that as well, because that's going to help maintain our muscle tone and confidence as well. That's all testosterone. So if you don't have, if you have low testosterone, your desire, it impacts desire. Okay, so you can have the arousal, meaning your body might react to it. You might have the attraction, but you don't have the desire, right? And that can happen, but that's the reason why. So then you're addressing root cause. And now you say, okay, either I can just, take the easy way out and try to take a pill, and it's just be a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, right? Or I can get my butt in the gym. I can drink some water. I can eat at least one clean meal a day, okay? Start there, right? Always be kind to yourself, because everybody can't do an about face and do a radical change. If you have to take it a step at a time, long as you're on the path, be good, feel good about that, right? But don't lie to yourself. That's all I'm saying. That's why we're always talking about informed choice in this class, okay? Okay, so testosterone. So what helps fuel testosterone in terms of a food, like a nutrient? What is something that's very much needed, particularly for men? It's on your sheets as well.
Sleep.
Zinc.
Zinc.
Okay, so foods that are rich in zinc will be pistachios and pumpkin seeds. Okay, so eating pumpkin seeds, you can make pumpkin seed milk. You can put in on top of, you can put pumpkin seeds anywhere. Okay, as a snack, grabbing some pistachios. Right, that's something that's easy to do in between meals, like just a handful. You don't need a whole lot. Okay, but that's going to give you the zinc. The zinc's going to be the foundation to help produce the testosterone, such long as you're doing everything else. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You also need the protein. We've already discussed the protein. Same protein with the estrogen. So lentils, nuts, legumes. All right. So lifestyle, the strength training, and you have to get proper sleep. Okay. You have to get proper sleep. And that's for both sexes, and that will naturally raise your testosterone levels, both in men and women. Both in men and women. And women, I encourage you to get your blood work checked and know where your testosterone levels are. And as a person that used to have PCOS, one of the side effects of the type of PCOS I had was having very high testosterone levels, right? I was in the man range. I had almost 400 level testosterone. And hair all over my chin. And I'm hairless. Like, I only have hair on my head. I have like peach fuzz maybe on my legs. I have no hair. But I had all this chin hair. My voice was deeper. I have a deep voice for a woman, but it was deeper. My desire was through the freaking roof. It was just a lot. So yes.
Is that when you were eating protein? I mean, meat or something?
This is when I was just generally sick. Just sick. Well, and I had PCOS, full-blown PCOS, yeah. Okay. So, and I had extremely high testosterone. It was like 387, I think it was, my numbers. So see where you are, be in a healthy range. You don't want it to be too low because you're not going to have the desire. You can do all the things right, but if your hormones are off, even if you want to in your mind, your body may not respond, or then you may not feel that spark, and that's most likely a hormonal balance. It's not just necessarily that person. It could be that person. I'm not going to rule that out. Not going to rule that out. But I'm saying just in general, if you're feeling kind of flat, just it's just not super exciting, just like, okay, whatever, like that. It's hormones, okay? Especially as we get older, it's going to start to feel a little flat unless you're proactively thinking about it and trying to do something about it, okay? All right, so stuff that blocks, what are the lifestyle blockers for testosterone production? Stress, sugar, and no sleep. Okay, so highly refined carbohydrates, high sugar, so drinking a bunch of drinks and sodas. And if I'm thinking about men, so drinking drinks and sodas and beer, because that's all, and wine and liquor, that's all sugar. It's all sugar. Heather and Leon, thank you for gracing us with your presence. It's so good to see y'all. I think, Heather, you'll like this topic. Chronic stress. When men carry a lot, men do and deal with a lot throughout the day, and when they feel stressed, that's going to directly impact their testosterone. That's which is going to impact their desire. Okay, so it's very, very important. So we understand estrogen's role. We understand testosterone's role. Yes. Okay, I'm going to quiz you in a little bit. We're going to see. We're going to play a little game. We're going to see. Okay, so the two hormones that you may not know as much about. All right, so the next one is oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. So what always comes to my mind as a doula is mother to child, that bond, okay? When that mother is breastfeeding the baby, oxytocin is what's being released, and that bonds, okay? So in the context of intimacy or vitality, as we're discussing today, what can be some examples of that? Touch. So laughter, eye contact, even sharing a meal together, okay? That connection, okay? Orgasm, that's included under oxytocin. That's the oxytocin that's being released when that happens. Those are all the things when it comes to that particular hormone. It's the bonding that happens, okay? So what are some foods you think might promote oxytocin being released? You've mentioned it. Dark chocolate. Okay. That's like the love hormones in there. Okay, it's a compound called PEA that's in there, and that's what helps your body to release oxytocin. Okay, so what can block, if we're saying togetherness and touching and eye contact are what releases oxytocin, what would block oxytocin from being released? Isolation, stress, loneliness, okay, unresolved conflict. So again, you can be wanting and having all the want you want, but then all the stress, you still feel lonely, it's going to show up somewhere, right? So this is how you're able to decode what's actually going on with you, because you might feel like bad about yourself, like I want to, but no, there's other things going on. So if you're saying, oh, because I feel lonely, let me address this, that's going to free up that hormone, because if you don't have that hormone, you're not going to feel it. You can't will it. It has to be produced from your body. So if you're eating all the right things and you're exercising, you're staying hydrated, and you're still not feeling that, then your hormones are off, and then you'll know which ones are off, and you'll know what to do. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, and then our last hormone is dopamine. Dopamine is the motivation or reward hormone. And a lot of times men get more credited with this hormone, even though it's present in both men and women, because for men tend to chase a woman, right? To chase, the chase is dopamine. It's a dopamine hit, right? If your a guilty pleasure is watching like Housewives or whatever junk TV, right? That's a dopamine hit. Like for me, like my dopamine hit, my guilty pleasure in my non-free time is watching people on YouTube pressure wash buildings and carpets. I don't know why it is. Just seeing that before and after and just getting that dirt,
That turns you on, huh?
it doesn't turn me on. I just feel like reward. It feels good. It's like, yes, clean it.
Get more clean.
I mean, I love it. I mean, some people want to watch cat videos and stuff or whatever. I like it's Mountain Rug cleaning something. I'll watch them. And they put the shampoo all over the carpet. I just like it, okay? And then there's this one guy, he goes to all these old buildings in like downtown areas, and he restores them by just pressure washing them. And you can see I just love it, okay?
Big white room.
Yes, I love it. That's a dopamine hit, okay? And another girl that says, I'm confessing over here, when I see somebody has got dandruff, I gotta scratch it up, right? That's a dopamine hit, okay? Okay, I told too much. But anyway, it's a craving, it's a chase, it's a reward motivation hormone, okay? So if you have all the other three hormones, you don't have that, it can still fall flat. Okay, it can still fall flat. So without dopamine, attraction feels flat, and then the desire will fade. They go hand in hand. Okay? All right, so what foods are linked with producing dopamine? Dark chocolate. So dark chocolate and cacao, yes.
Yeah, see?
Berries for the antioxidants. And pomegranate. Yes. So yes. Okay, so since y'all all reading the sheet. Look, we're going to an age now with AI and everything. There's going to be no more critical thinking. Like, let's still do some critical thinking. Okay?
I love AI.
Okay, so, all right, so since y'all saw the answers, yes, that was correct. Lifestyle. So with dopamine, it's something new, something fun. Music, when you set a goal and you complete those goals, exercising and staying consistent with it, those are all dopamine hits. Like, okay, I did it, yeah. And it keeps you motivated. That motivation, that drive, all that's part of it. So now you all understand the three parts of intimacy: attraction, desire, and arousal. And you understand the four main hormones that support those three things: estrogen, testosterone, oxytocin, and dopamine. Yes? Yeah. Okay. All right, so what blocks dopamine before we go on?
Sugar.
Excessive amounts of sugar, especially refined sugars. Overstimulating. So if you're a person that scrolls on TikTok and all that stuff all day, that's why I only post. I do not scroll. because I love to laugh, and every time I've caught myself on TikTok, like 2 hours passes because I'm just laughing so hard. I said, "This is the devil. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna post and get off." So if you responded to me, I didn't see it. I don't know anything about it. I just put the post out there because I don't have the control yet. Okay. All right. So with that, before we go into our little game, I'm just going to make sure we understand how we connect the hormones, like what we eat and how we live, how they comes together, so that you can do this at home. So we talk about the zinc-rich foods, and the ones we spoke about in this class are what? Pumpkin seeds and pistachios. Okay, and those pumpkin seeds and pistachios, they support what? Testosterone, which also supports what?
Erection.
Desire.
Erection.
And also erections, yes, but desire. Okay. All right. So then we have magnesium-rich foods, which are what? Magnesium-rich
Cacao
foods.
and leafy greens.
Cacao and leafy greens. Yes. Okay. And so what does that do?
Relax you, arouse you.
It relaxes your muscles. So you want to be relaxed. You don't want to go into a intimate situation wound up. You want to be relaxed. All right. It helps to improve your circulation for both men and women. Okay. And then it helps with arousal because you're calm. You can't be in a fight or flight state. You have to be in a parasympathetic state. Okay. You have to be calm. Okay. So it's going to help with that. All right. Then we have omega-3 rich foods, which are what? Chia, flax, walnuts, hemp. The best plant source of omega-3s, period, is algae oil. Okay, because when people say, "Oh, I eat salmon or fatty fish to get my omega-3s," yeah, you can. But where does the fish get the omega-3s? Because fish are not born with omega-3s. They eat the algae. The algae is the source of the omega-3s. So you can just go straight to the source and then your body doesn't have to convert it. It's already in DHA and EPA form if you go and get algae oil. Okay. Now the flax, chia, and walnuts are in the ALA format, which is the precursor, and your body converts it to DHA and EPA. So just so you're aware of that. But if you want the potent source, go straight to the algae and get that. And it's everywhere. You can get it. I mean, it's very easy to get. Okay? And a lot of times people buy fish oil capsules. I don't advise it, not just because they're not vegan, but because they're mostly rancid. Okay? Think about it. It's a dead fish. They've extracted oil. It's gone through some type of sanitization process, and now it's encapsulated and it's sitting on the shelf. How long do you think? Hey Kim, I see you come here. How long do you think that's going to stay? It's rancid. Think about a fish. If you had, how long would that fish be viable? Okay, so if you're going to do a fish oil or a krill oil for that source, get the kind that's refrigerated. That way it has some type of expiration date. Don't get the capsules at Walmart that's been sitting there for however many years, okay? Because you're not going to get the benefit. If it's rancid already, it's not, you're just putting money down the drain. It's not going to have the omega-3 benefits that you're looking for, okay? Yes, ma'am. Microphone? Can give her the mic. It's because for the recording. Yeah.
Hello. Okay. If doing that, getting the oil, still omega fish oil, refrigerated, should we not be concerned of what type of fish it comes from? Because mackerel is high in mercury.
Most of the fish are high in a lot of, not only just the heavy metals, but it's high in microplastics now too, because of the waste that's in the oceans, right? Which is why I would say go to the source and get the algae. But a lot of you still are going to do the fish oils. All right, and I'm just saying, try to get the best quality that you can. Make sure it's been third-party tested. Make sure it's been tested for heavy metals. They'll have all that certification on it. Yes, it's going to cost more, but either if you're going to supplement with intention, then do it right. Don't just do it to check a mental box and it's not actually helping your body because it's rancid. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so it's your decision which one you want to do. Just make the best choice you can and the best choice that your wallet allows you to make. Yeah, I didn't hear you. You take the algae. The question is, how do you use the algae oil? Just like you would take the fish oil capsule. You take it in the morning. You can take it. You can take it as many. You can't really overdose on that. No. And if you get your blood work tested, you want to be over an 8 for your omega-3 6-9 ratio. If your omega-3 is at least over an 8, you're good. And I guarantee most of you are tested, you wouldn't be that high. Because most of our foods are omega-6s and 9s, which are inflammatory. So you have to be conscious about getting omega-3s. And then when you eat refined sugars and carbs, that's going to really take away from your omega-3s. Any kind of inflammation that's in your body's going to be fighting that. You're going to always be depleted in that. So you really want to take that as often as you can. Omega-3s on your blood panel. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Antioxidants. Why are antioxidants part of this equation? Hey, Darlene. Why are antioxidants part of this equation? Particularly for men, because the antioxidants, that's not your sheet, huh? Okay. Okay. All right, so now you got to listen. Antioxidants help with the endothelial function so that's the blood vessel, the lining of the blood vessels, your endothelial lining, and that helps promote blood flow and circulation. So it's present in both men and women need it, but men even more so. Men have an awesome, just like women can see what's going on with their health every month through their periods, men can see it every time they have an erection. They get to see what's going on with their health because the smallest veins in the human body are in the penis. Okay, so you have veins, then you have capillaries, which are smaller veins for short, and then even smaller are in the penis. So the second a man is having any kind of issues there, that's a vascular issue, it's a cardio issue. That it's a precursor saying, hey, you are on the road of heart disease, right? Because the narrowing of those vessels is already starting to happen, and you're not getting maximum blood flow there, especially as men age. So it's like, it's going to lead to heart attack. That's why it's a direct correlation. So once they start having any kind of issues with that, that's what's really going on a macro level. But you're seeing it on a micro level first. And most men don't do anything until there's a problem there. Okay? But then they want to cheat and take a pill and this and that instead of addressing the root cause. Like I said, you're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. I mean, they can. It's their choice, right? But we're trying to understand what's the why behind it so that you can make a better choice and address the root cause. Because most women don't want the gummy action. They want something firm. So if that's something that you can work on naturally and get that taken care of, then that's what is better for you for your health. Because if you improve that automatically improves your heart health. Automatically. Okay?
I have a question. So what would you recommend? A lot of men have what they call ED, erectile dysfunction.
Yes, sir.
And then you have some men that, like, if they're dealing with prostate issue, like
Yes.
they had the prostate removed, the blood flows, so to start what would you recommend for that?
A lot of things, and so it's kind of slightly case specific, but the general things are still exercise and diet for sure. But I would have to know other parts of the blood work to know what's going on. If the prostate is removed or if it's currently enlarged, if they're taking medication, it's like a it depends type of thing. It's not a straight answer. And so if it's for you or a friend, I can definitely answer it specifically after class for you. Yeah, because it's not, since it's being recorded, I can't give a general answer to that because it depends on this situation. Okay, yeah, but it's an excellent question. Okay. So that's why antioxidants are important. So everybody should be eating berries. Okay, get the pomegranate so to get that blood flow. And then the antioxidants also help with supporting dopamine release. Okay, because remember we have to have that hormone. And the last thing is mucilaginous foods. We've talked about it in this class, but I don't know if I use the term mucilaginous foods. I don't know if I put that on your sheet. Slimy. Okay, so if you're thinking slimy, what does that equate to? What do you think that'd be good for?
Lubrication.
For lubrication for women. Yes. So mucilaginous foods are things that swell up and become gel-like in water. So when women in particular consume more of those foods, that helps with natural lubrication. So especially as a woman ages, if a woman is going through perimenopause and menopause, your estrogen goes down, which is going to directly affect your arousal, and you're going to lose moisture, and the vaginal tissues begin to decrease. Okay, so you want to eat mucilaginous foods on top of being hydrated. Okay, all this, if you do all this and you still drink only a cup of water a day, you have to hydrate properly. Okay, you have to drink enough fluids every day. Okay, it should still be running like a faucet. Okay, and so if your faucet, if it's got some okay, if you need a plumber, okay, if you need a plumber, eat some mucilaginous foods, okay? So drinking okra water is great. Aloe water is great. Eating chia seed pudding, flax pudding. Those are like the easiest ones. And then when we go on the herbal side, there are lots of teas like marshmallow root tea. I love that. I love mullein tea. I love licorice root tea. Those all help with regaining moisture in the tissue, the vaginal tissues, and helps with lubrication. Okay, naturally. Yes, ma'am.
What would make you choose psyllium husk versus chia versus flax? What makes you choose out of those three?
Okay, Heather, if you don't mind repeating it so that the people at home can hear you.
Okay. My question is, what makes you choose psyllium husk versus chia versus flax? What makes you choose one or the other?
Great question. Whatever you like, whatever you can eat. Okay. There's some people that have an aversion to chia seeds. Okay, so don't eat chia seeds. Okay. There's some people like psyllium husk gets thick real quick. You have to understand how to handle that. So it might put some people off. Okay. So start with where you're comfortable. If the safest, easiest thing is to do like an okra water, and if you don't like the taste of it, add a freshly squeezed lemon or lime to it and drink it every day. You'll notice the difference.
So do you cook the okra? Do you cook the okra to make the okra water?
That's a great question. No, absolutely not.
Okay,
So you take the okra, fresh okra, you slice it. So if the okra pod is this long, I'll slice it into thirds. And I take like 5 or 6 okra pods, and I slice them in thirds. I put them in a 32-ounce mason jar, cover it with water. I sit it in the refrigerator, and next morning I strain it into another 32-ounce jar just because I don't like stuff floating around. But you don't have to. It's just my analness. I strain it and then drink it. And then I like to add lime juice to it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can cook with it, of course. And then after you've drained it, you can still cook it as well. And then if you're doing the okra water like that, you can get 2 or 3 uses out of that first chop. So once you chop it and you drain it, you can fill it back up 2 more times and you still get, yeah. Any other questions on that? Those are good questions. Oh, y'all talking amongst yourselves. Okay. All right, that means y'all know what's going on. All right, so we're going to have some quick teams. Okay, I'm still good on time. Okay, this is great.
I like to ask about hibiscus and making hibiscus water and being a diuretic or too much of a diuretic. How should we use it and how often should we use it? Because I was told that I could overload by drinking it too often and dehydrate myself by doing that.
Okay, so that's a good question. So anything so first of all, it's hibiscus or sorrel is really, really good. It's very high in vitamin C. It's really, really good for you, but it is a mild diuretic. So you have to just replenish. So I'll always say add electrolytes first because that's going to help keep your body hydrated. Because just like if you just drink plain water, and it's like if you drink a bunch of water now and then you pee 15 minutes later, your body's not hydrated. It went out, okay? So the electrolytes actually helped it become intracellular and help it actually like hydrate the body. So I would make sure there's some kind of like a little bit of like a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/8 teaspoon of salt, like a Himalayan salt, a Baja Gold salt, a Celtic sea salt in it, or Utah Redmond real salt from Utah. I would start with that, and then also when you're drinking it, I would just mix it up. So if you're even concerned that you're at risk of drinking diuretic, then I would switch to an aloe water or switch to an okra water where it's not a diuretic, and you don't have to worry about that. I would just incorporate it overall because it does taste delicious. Yeah. Yeah. Question, Chandra? Yes. Pass her the mic.
You mentioned algae oil.
Yes.
So what about just algae? Does it have to be algae oil?
No, it does not. It's a great question. No, you can eat straight. I like to eat raw spirulina. You can find it frozen in the health food stores like at Berrybrook. You can do the raw spirulina chlorella powder mix. You can definitely do that. But the oil is a very concentrated form, so you get more bang for your buck when you take it in that way. And that's the reason why I suggested it in that way. But you don't have to. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Any other questions before we do our little game? Okay, I'm gonna explain the game. I'm gonna give you all some scenarios, and then you're gonna tell me if it's attraction, arousal, or desire, and what hormone supports that, to make sure you understand. Okay. So it'll be 5 teams. I'm just gonna put them at random. Actually, Angela, can you just pick 5? So y'all work together. They're already sorted. Okay. And y'all will see my beautiful handwriting on those index cards. Just so they're spread out so that they can all sit together. You don't have to move. Okay. Or it might be 7 together, whatever. Just get the general sense. All right. So when I ask a question, there are going to be 2 cards that go up. One card will be either attraction, arousal, or desire. The other card that will go up will be estrogen, testosterone, dopamine, or oxytocin. Okay? And so you all will talk amongst yourselves in your group to decide which one is which. And we're not going to take too long on this, okay? Okay. The prize is that you'll get to eat first. Okay? All right. I should do some door prizes for these games we do. I just forget about it. Until we start the process. Okay. All right. So here's the first one. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Here's our first scenario. You see someone walk into the room and instantly feel interested. Hold the car up. Okay, attraction. Okay, and what is the hormone that supports that? Dopamine. Y'all got it. Okay, y'all got it. Okay, so now y'all get how it's going to go? Okay, so it's going to be one of the hormones and one of the 3 intimacy pillars, okay? It's better if you don't, so that, I want people to use critical thinking skills. Okay. All right. Your body responds with natural lubrication or erection. Y'all still laying it out loud. Arousal is correct. Okay, and what's the hormone? It can be estrogen or testosterone. Yep, so that might have been a little trick, but yeah, it could be estrogen or testosterone. Okay, good. All right. You spend the afternoon daydreaming about being intimate. Desire is correct. Okay, and what is the hormone? I can't see? Nope. Okay, y'all got it right. So it's dopamine and testosterone. Remember, testosterone is that drive, right? And then dopamine is that what? Right. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So after a workout and a good meal with pumpkin seeds and greens, you feel ready. What's that? After a workout and a good meal of pumpkin seeds and greens, you feel ready. Nope. Yes, desire. It's desire. It's in your mind. Okay? Remember, desire is psychological. Okay? Right. You're just thinking about it. You feel ready because you're thinking about it, right? I didn't say anything about what physically is happening, right? So that's why it's not arousal. But it was desire because you were thinking about it. That makes sense? Okay, so then what is the hormone? Testosterone. Okay. No, testosterone. We have testosterone. Testosterone is doing that in you. Yeah, that means you have good testosterone levels. I love it, Darlene. I love it. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right, so spicy food with ginger and cayenne warms your body and quickens your heartbeat. All right, y'all all got it. That's arousal. That's arousal, okay? And then what is the hormone? What does that say? Nope. 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 Y'all had it right already. Okay, the correct answer for the hormone is testosterone. Okay, and why is that? Since everybody except for one got it wrong. The drive, the mood, the libido. Okay, it's important. So that's why it's important for women. If you don't have enough testosterone, you're not going to feel it. Okay, that's why a man can have testosterone, but then the arousal doesn't happen because of a blood flow issue. But the desire still and the arousal is still there. Okay. If your lifestyle is sedentary, then yeah. If you're working out and you're eating clean, then no. If you're sitting in front of the TV watching football, then yes. Uh-oh, it's sounding personal. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Both sexes have testosterone and estrogen. So in this scenario, it's not, okay, thank you, Angela. In this scenario, it's not that it's not important. Like I said, there's 4 main hormones. There's other factors why men have estrogen and what it does in the body. But in terms of intimacy, that's not the driving factor for men. It's a driving factor in women. What testosterone does as a hormone itself is to have that drive. Okay. So that's why it's in both of us. Okay. Yep. Wow. Estrogen's in men too because estrogen's a growth hormone. So anything that's going to build and expand, you need estrogen for that. That's one of the reasons why. Okay. But that's not on this topic, so that's why that's not there. Okay. Okay. Couple more. Make sure y'all get the point because I think y'all kind of starting to get it. All right. Hugging and resolving an argument brings your interest back.
Oh, that is
oxytocin, yes. So and desire.
Oh, and
desire and oxytocin. Are y'all understanding this? Yeah. Okay. Because that's how you can actually apply this at home. So whatever your situation is, you can think, is it really that person or is it me? Right? And then you can figure out how to adjust if needed, because y'all probably are just fine. Okay? You can help a friend. Okay? Okay. You left it? Okay. A smile or a kind gesture makes you feel drawn to someone. Attraction. What hormone supports that? What's the attraction hormone? Dopamine. Dopamine. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. Let's see, because I can go on and on and on. All right, holding hands and kissing leads to physical changes in your body. Arousal is correct. Y'all all got that. So what are the 3 hormones? It's not. Testosterone is correct. Oxytocin and estrogen. Yes. Yes. Excellent job. All right. Last question. Last one, because I feel like y'all are getting it. After a week of great sleep, you feel more energetic and more interested.
oh, rest.
You put desire? Desire is correct.
It's in your mind.
And what's the hormone? Testosterone, okay? The other thing that's super important with this is balanced cortisol. Like I said, there's other things at play, but when that stress goes up, your cortisol is going to go up. It's going to affect your sleep. It's going to affect your weight. It's going to affect your mood. And so all these things being in balance is how you actually know, this is how you actually get vitality. Vitality is all three of those: attraction, desire, and arousal in balance. It's the oxytocin, dopamine, estrogen, and testosterone in balance. If they're not in balance, then something's going to be off, okay? So if you're able to, now you can have a qualified conversation with your partner if you or your partner are experiencing things that it's not what you want it to be and you want it to be better. Now you have the tools to say, okay, now I understand how we can make things better. And things are going well, then this is how you can make it even better, okay? You say, okay, things are good, but I want to increase my desire. I want to increase my arousal. I want to increase my attraction. Now I understand how I can do it even more. Okay, it doesn't mean because it doesn't always have to be coming from a deficit. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so hopefully y'all like that game.
That was good. That was good.
So what really happens? So as women are going to perimenopause, menopause, what happens? Estrogen drops. Okay, so when estrogen drops, that means what? What's happening? That means vaginal dryness. That means thinning of the tissues in the vaginal area, and your arousal response is not what it used to be. It's not that you're not aroused, it's just not, the intensity is not what it used to be as you're going into perimenopause and menopause. That's what happens, okay? Then your progesterone also drops. So what does progesterone affect? Your mood, right? You could be really cranky and itchy without the B. Sleep can be off, okay? That impacts your desire. So we saw how estrogen can impact your arousal. Progesterone can impact your desire when you're going to perimenopause, menopause. Then your testosterone that you naturally have also starts to go down. So then what does that impact? That impacts your libido, your desire to even want to do anything, right? And then oxytocin becomes less sensitive to be released. Like, it's not as sensitive, it may decrease, which makes you feel less bonded. It won't feel as intense. Like, you still like the person, but that fire you felt, it will decrease naturally. That's what will naturally happen as you go through changes of life. But then if you're supporting with phytoestrogen-rich foods, mucilagenic herbs, omega-3s, magnesium, B vitamins, if you're being conscious about that, keeping your stress at bay, if you're doing those things and sleeping properly, and then still exercise, particularly strength training, resistance training for women specifically, that's what's going to help keep that in balance so you can still have the active lifestyle that you might desire to have. And everyone may not desire to have that, okay? It's just an indicator of health. Whether you choose to do something about it or not, it's still an indicator of health. And that's all we're trying to, the point we're trying to get across here. So like I said, the class is not about sex, it's about health. Right. Okay? So that's what happens with perimenopause and menopause. And those are things you should be thinking about. Those are like, okay, am I eating these foods to support that? If you feel like you want to be more of a runny faucet, how can you increase that? Okay. If you want to have a better mood, how can you increase that? That's what you want to be thinking. Okay. And not thinking of yourself as anything wrong with you, because nothing's wrong with you. Okay. Okay. For men, testosterone is going to start to dip, and that's going to impact their desire and also their energy. Okay. So desire is mental, right? They're going to feel less like wanting to do it. Then circulation problems. Mainly men, it's a blood flow issue. Because those veins are so small there. So once there's any kind of blood flow issue, it's a constriction of something's going on that's telling you have some cardiovascular issues and you have to address. So you want to make sure you're eating nitric oxide rich foods and antioxidants to help with that on a regular basis. You have to keep your stress at bay, keep your cortisol levels down, especially if the men that get more bellies you have, the lower your testosterone is. Naturally, that's what happens, okay? So if they work on the belly fat, that helps bring the testosterone levels up, okay? If the man is smoking, drinking alcohol, eating processed food, and not getting quality sleep, his testosterone is going to be affected. It's going to impact his vitality in that way. So if he wants to improve it, cut out the alcohol, eat something healthy, don't smoke. That includes vapes and hookahs and all that stuff, okay? All the chemical smoking too, all that counts. and focus on getting quality sleep.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
So you spoke about nitric oxide.
Yes.
Beet products are very popular with the beet products.
Yes.
The juice in the beets and
Yes.
So is that really? I mean, okay. So the one they sell like the gummies and the one you mix for drinks and all that advertise, is that really helpful?
Okay, so his question's about beets and the nitric oxide that's in beets because it's very high in beets. So the short answer is yes, but anything in a gummy form, it's added sugars to it. It's gummy. It's not going to be potent. What you want to do is get actual beets, blend them into a smoothie. Get actual beets, roast them in the oven, and eat them. Right? Beet greens have lots of that as well. Okay, pomegranates have lots of that as well. Okay, so and eating dark leafy greens, you're gonna get that. But the beets are very, very, very potent. The beet powders is less potent. The more processed it is, the more of it and more consistency you have to do it. You want to get actual beets, right? And then if you don't like the taste of it, you have to acquire the taste for beets. So like there's like a beet smoothie I make with beets, strawberries, chlorella, hemp seed, and if you combine that, it blunts that earthiness. So that's something a way to think about it, and that way you're also still getting the antioxidants as well from the berries. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the one I want to share, the one I do with beets is. Yeah, the smoothie that I make with the beets is I do beets. I'll take one beet. I'll take about 4 or 5 pieces of celery. And a large bunch of carrots and blend it all together. Then you don't taste the beets. In fact, the beets make it sweet.
It makes it sweet, yeah.
And I do that every day. No, they're raw.
That's why you look so good, Leon. You do. Okay, so yeah, those vasodilators, so the leafy greens, the beets, the pomegranates, that's what you want to, as a man, have to incorporate on a regular basis to help keep those blood vessels open and get blood flow through, because it's a blood flow circulation issue. So circulation as well, we're going to have in our meal today, something with heat, okay? So for all the baby mouths today, I don't think it's that hot, but you need some heat for circulation, okay? And that's not just for the men for blood flow, it's for the women for lubrication, okay? You need circulation. So today, if you go on my website, thenaijagoddess.com, and the website's listed as the footer of your sheet. So you'll see the 2 recipes we're doing today. The picture is the same picture on both. One is this spice, sweet potato, and lentil soup shooter. Because y'all gonna drink them like little shot glasses today. So you think about this is like if you're doing something a special evening for you and your partner. This is something that you can make. Okay, the soup is a complete main meal. It can also be a side dish if you still want to have something else. You can still do that. But this is a complete meal. This soup. And then the dessert will be the truffle, okay? So we're gonna start making the soup first while that cooks. Then y'all taste it, and we'll have the dessert, and then we'll adjourn. All right, so follow along with me because I'm liable to I make up recipes, so I don't even really remember what I did. So I have to write it down and capture it. I'm starting off with some coconut oil. That was half a tablespoon of coconut oil. And the first thing I'm going to do is when I get some onions, I'm gonna saute the onions with garlic and ginger. That's the great base for any soup. Now, the ginger is going to be there. Not only is it anti-inflammatory, but it's going to help with circulation, right? It's going to have a little bit of a kick to it. So always add as much garlic as you can stand. We've talked about the medicinal properties of garlic many, many times. Thank you kindly, Miss Vanna Black. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Thank you so much. All right. We got some onions now because I forgot them at home. Are y'all following along, keeping me honest? Okay. So I'm going to give this a saute. Onions, garlic, and ginger. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with that. Okay. So while that's hanging out, I'm going to do a quick hop over to the dessert, because one of the herbs that is really good for men and women. This is good for men for erection and women for lubrication. It's one of the, I haven't said it yet. Y'all are funny. This is one of the oldest herbs. This is a part of the Ayurvedic system. This is one of the main herbs. This is saffron, okay? We've talked about it in this class a lot, but I don't know if y'all knew it was an aphrodisiac herb that is actually science-backed for its proven benefits. So what I'm going to do is take like a quarter teaspoon of saffron threads, and I'm going to bloom it, so when we switch to our dessert, it's already done. So I'm going to take a little pinch of saffron and like 2 tablespoons of water and let it sit for like 5 minutes. Let it sit. You're just letting it sit. So the color will release. So, and I'll show you all on the camera. So, 1, 2. So it's already starting to turn. So it's going to let that hydrate while we're cooking everything. All right. Excuse me? Nope. The question is that what blooming means? I don't know if y'all can still hear me. No, we're about to bloom the spices. So blooming is taking dried spices in particular and warming them up in a fat, because the volatile oils in the spices that gives it its flavor are fat soluble. So that's why I started with coconut oil, because normally I do like a water saute, but because we're using it's a spiced soup, I use the oil. So since this is now toasted, I'm going to add the spices in now. So here I have about 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Is that going to be okay for y'all? Or you want to do half? Okay, I'll do half. Lord have mercy. I do half. For the ones who can handle it at the end, after they get theirs, I can add this on. Okay, then I have a tablespoon of cumin. And now this is bigger because I'm making it for you all, but the portions for 4 servings is on the website. So I have the cumin added. And then here I have a tablespoon and a half of Ceylon cinnamon. And we hate we talked about cinnamon many, many, many times in this class. For those who may or may not remember, wow, can y'all still hear me? Okay. What is cinnamon's claim to fame? What does it do well for the body? Lowers your A1C. Yeah, so it helps balance blood sugar. So if you're eating something kind of naughty, it helps your blood sugar not spike as high. Okay? Not say it won't spike, but not as high. Okay. All right, so I added a little bit more oil. And so what you're smelling now are the spices blooming, Helen. All right. And you see that darkening. Can y'all see this? I don't know what y'all can see. All right. So now that we've done that, our next part is we're going to add in our sweet potatoes. Now, I did the cheat and bought them already cut up and diced and whatnot. You do you. Okay. They always have these available at the grocery store, so I don't mind paying the convenience fee. Okay, and then our protein source are these lentils. And y'all have seen me use these before. I think the last class or 2 classes ago, I did a smoothie with red lentils. Yep. As the protein source. And you don't even taste them. All right. So I know y'all like dump and go type of recipes. All right. And then we're going to add in 8 cups of water. And what we're going to do, we're going to let this come to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, I'm going to cover it and then let it cook for 20 to 25 minutes. And at that point, the lentils and the sweet potatoes should be cooked. And then we'll add in the coconut milk and lime juice, adjust any seasonings. Oh, I got to add the broth. So I added in water, but it's supposed to be broth. But I always use better than bouillon. So you can pre-make it as a broth, but I just like to pour it in afterwards. Better than bouillon. No, that was for the dessert. I just wanted to go ahead and get that. Yes, I wouldn't waste y'all's time. But saffron could go in it, actually. It would be good. When you buy yellow rice in the grocery store, it's usually that yellow color because of saffron. So I use this today. I use vegetable, but they have a no chicken. They have a no beef. They have a garlic base. They have a mushroom base. So it just depends on what you're going for. Yeah, it's very flavorful. Just add a little bit more water. All right, so while that comes to a boil, we're going to switch over to our dessert. Are y'all still tracking? Yes. How much water? Okay. It's 8 cups of broth. Right. 8 cups of broth. Oh, for what I'm doing, yes. For what I'm doing, I did 8 cups, correct. Because it's a lot of y'all. The recipe on the website, again, is for 4 servings, for 4. All right, so now we're making this Aphrodisiac soup, and while that waits to come to a boil, we're going to make some Aphrodisiac dessert. Okay, I'm going to call it a truffle just to make it sound fancy. So we're going to start off with a package of dates, okay, organic dates. I like to get the kinds that are not pitted, so I pit them myself because they're fresher, they'll be softer. The ones that are pitted, they're always hard. So I don't mind pitting them, but if you're... Now when you buy them from the Mediterranean store, they're always perfect, and that's the ones I prefer. They have different types of dates that I like better than Medjool, actually. Okay, so I don't know if y'all have switched over with me yet, but our herbal spotlight is maca. Maca is excellent for men and women. For maca, this helps men with erection, this helps women with lubrication, and it helps both men and women with overall libido, which is desire. Okay, so this is something that we like to use. I buy in bulk. As you see, it's almost gone. So I use it a lot. It has a beautiful smell. It smells, I don't know how to describe it, actually. But when you smell it, you know that it's maca. Yep. It's a root. It's like a tuber that grows below ground like a sweet potato. That's native to Peru, also called like Peruvian ginseng. Okay. You get this, like something this big, you can get like on Amazon, but you can go to any health food store and they have it. This is not in traditional grocery stores. So if you're building up your herbal apothecary, I would include maca. Okay. It's also a hormone balancer for women. Okay. So, but this is a great herb for men and women when we're talking about vitality. All right, so that's why that's here. Well, I actually didn't follow my own directions. I meant to crumble the nuts first, but it'll still work. It'll still work. So we talked many times today about pistachios, right? All right. Now, they didn't have the unsalted ones, so I have the lightly salted ones, so I'm just going to add those in. And then the ones I pre-did, I did them with cashews, but I'm going to do this batch here with pumpkin seeds because we talked so much about pumpkin seeds. Okay? So this is an aphrodisiac dessert because now you've learned what is fueling everything, right? And so now you know what ingredients to look for. So you're not just looking for these honey packs and stuff like that, right? Yep, if you go to the NaijaGoddess.com, click on the hamburger menu, click recipes, and the first 2 recipes you'll see will be this soup, and and it's the same picture because it was a 2-for-1 type thing. Okay, so alternatively, I could do cashews like I did in the ones I pre-made. Okay, then I'm going to add in some vanilla extract, which I can't remember if I put that on the website or not, because I just like to add vanilla into everything. It's like my favorite flavor. And then our other spice that we're using is a warming spice, so this helps with circulation. So that's good for men and women for lubrication and for blood flow. It's cardamom, okay? It's a warming spice. So see, your kitchen is already your medicine cabinet. Just gotta know how to use it. Now, if I was making this for myself, I'll add some cayenne to this as well. Okay, that sweet heat is a great combination. And because these were lightly salted pistachios, I'm not going to add the pinch of salt. Okay, and I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Huh? Shredded coconut is optional. I did not roll them in that because I know some of y'all are coconut averse, even though it's like my favorite fruit. So I did not do that. Oh, the thing that we're missing is one of our key ingredients, which is the bloomed saffron. Now y'all see how beautiful that is now? I don't know if y'all can see it, if I'm holding it right. And this is the world's most expensive spice. And we had a class about that because this is the stamen of a particular flower, right? That only blooms one time of the year. It has to be hand-picked, okay? So this is an indulgent dessert. You're showing your partner love and care. All right, so we're going to add that. But you can find saffron now in any major grocery store. So I think I got this one from Publix or Harris Teeter, because the one I have from like Spain, my travels from Spain, I used them in my last class. Used all my good stuff. Can you go back and get that soup? Yep. That's it. Yep. So the question is, do I add oil for the saffron? No, just in water. Yeah, because we're just trying to rehydrate the saffron to activate it, and then the color that goes into it. So that's what's actually going to be helpful. Yep. So as you all can see, I think I over blended it anyway. So you take this and roll them into beautiful balls. Now, what you can do, you can roll those in shredded coconut. You can roll it in cacao powder. You can roll it in powdered agave if you want it sweeter. You can, thank you so much, Angela. Look at Vanna Black, y'all. Right here, that's fine. Perfect, thank you. Even better, thank you. I'll turn this way. This pot claimed to be induction ready, and apparently it's not. So, all right. We're getting somewhat of a boil here, so I'm gonna cover that. Let that keep going. So yeah, so now y'all can eat. Because through the magic of TV, the soup is magically done and the balls are already rolled. Just that quickly, right? All right, so I have these little shooter cups, these fake shot glasses, because we don't do alcohol when we're trying to be aroused, right? If you didn't learn anything else, you learned that that's not an aphrodisiac. Okay, that does not help the situation. You might feel it, but that's because you're drunk. Okay. Okay. one last thing. I need the ladle, the 2-ounce ladle. Okay. I totally forgot about all that, clearly. And a knife. I forgot about all that too. Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to have her pass out these date balls first. The truffles. So this is what they look like plain. Okay. Then you can also put a drizzle of dark chocolate on it. Okay. You can make them very fancy. You can put them in nicer little cups than I have. Okay. So if you're trying to set the mood intention for your partner, this is made with love, and this is going to actually stimulate the proper hormones and the proper desire, attraction, and arousal, right? And not just a sugar rush from a honey or Red Bull, well, let me not say Red Bull, energy drinks, okay? Caffeine, that's not it, okay? This is going to be more lasting, more pleasurable.
How long does it store for?
These?
Yes.
At least a week.
Okay.
At least a week in an airtight container in the fridge. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much. All right, so, come again? Yes, thank you. All right, I'll give you some gloves, and then you can pass out the dates. And then you can customize these. So we want, if you don't have a nut aversion, keep the pistachios. If you have a nut allergy, use pumpkin seeds, okay? Also, you can add hemp seeds to this as well, and that's going to give you more of the omega-3 thing that we talked about. So she's going to pass out those balls now, and then I'm going to get the soup together. Balls with the nuts. I heard y'all. That's funny. That is funny. Okay. Now, per the instructions on the website, my intention was to do this with an immersion blender, and then you can make it very creamy and silky. But I personally like chunky to add some texture to it. So at home, when you make this on your own, you make your choice. So if you want to blend it up, blend it up. If you want to keep some texture to it, keep some texture. Okay. Good. And then the serving size for the dates, the date balls is 2 balls, and it's 185 calories, and you still get 4 or 5 grams of protein, fiber, your minerals. You know, this is a raw dessert, so all the electrolytes, Lord, all the antioxidants and enzymes are still intact. So this is a proper aphrodisiac food. Now, where's that spoon she just gave me? In my face. Okay. Okay, there was a question about soy, and I said soy gets a really bad reputation because especially men, they think about it and they think estrogen and women, and I'm gonna get man boobs and soy boys and all the things. Right. First and foremost, soy is a bean. Okay? It is a bean. Just like a lima bean, a pinto bean, okay, is a bean. Now, it is one of the beans that has a lot of protein in it. It has high protein. Okay? So, of course, the meat industry knows that it's a competitor, so they want to go against it. That's where all that kind of came from. If you look at who funded all that stuff, that's where that came from. The part with the estrogen, yes, it is high in phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens that are plant estrogen, because remember the prefix phyto means plant. So that means it gently mimics estrogen in the body that you already have. It's not the xenoestrogens that are out here from all the toxins and chemicals and stuff that we've talked about before. So that's the first part. So especially for men and for women, it's protective against breast cancer and those tissues. It's protective against those types of things. So the people in the world that consume the most soy have the lowest amounts of cancer. Okay? There's beans, like it's not as popular in the United States yet, like lupini beans have even more protein than soy. But because soy is a subsidized crop, the part that people get mixed up, 95% of the soy that's grown is for animals, right? And of those that are grown, the animals are not eating, they're eating a genetically modified version of it. The ones that are sold to humans, I've never seen non-organic soy sold. I've never seen it. Okay, so when you buy soy, you want to make sure it's organic soy, so it's not been GMO'd and all that. That's what you want to make sure. And I've never even seen it sold that way. So somebody had a question? Okay, soy is soy, period. Again, it's a bean, okay? So the question is, what about soy in the fake meats? Okay? So in so they're not all the same. In some of them, they're using soy isolate. Okay? They're just extracting just the protein extract from the soy plant. Now, I personally am not a fan of doing an extract because you need the full compound. It's there for a reason. That's why God created it. That's how it's made. So when you extract anything, so even when you have like a whey extract, like they do with people who still eat dairy, right? It's been extracted. It's a process. It has to be done in a lab. That's not natural. Okay, so that's what you don't want to do. So like certain ones, that's why if I indulge and have a fake a faux meat burger, right? I only would do Beyond because they don't use genetically modified ingredients and they use pea, but there's a lot of research that proves overwhelmingly that soy is very healthy for you. If you have a soy allergy, don't consume soy. Okay. If you think you don't like soy, you probably just ain't had it cooked right. But I would say give it a chance, and especially if you are a woman that's in perimenopause or menopause, the recommendation to, especially if you're having hot flashes and stuff and lots of mood issues, is to consume at least a half cup a day of like edamame. And edamame are just young soybeans. That's all it is. It's so people kill me like, I can't do soy, but they're pouring soy sauce on their fried rice. Okay. Like they eat edamame. I'm like, it is soy. Okay, it is a bean. It's literally the bean. So when you see edamame, it is a soybean that is immature, is green. Okay, a fully ripened soybean is white, like creamy color. We still need more? Oh, 4 more. Okay. Okay, so that's the very quick nutshell about it. But you've been marketed to fear it. But then they'll turn around and eat a pig feet and intestines and a butt and a shoulder and all that and all the hormones and that thing was fed all these antibiotics, all these chemicals. It's standing in its own feces, and then you're questioning a plant. Okay, so you just got to think about that. Now again, it is your choice. I'm not judging you. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, but at the end of the day, it is a bean. Okay, it is a bean. So we're not eating the kind that's grown for the animals. And you think about that. The stuff they're growing for the animals, and you're consuming that. You're consuming that. So that animal that's been fed with antibiotics, the animal that's been fed, now, especially if you're eating beef, those are all female cows. That's estrogen. Okay, that's all the hormones that you're eating because you're eating flesh. Okay, you're eating those hormones. Everything that animal ate and stood in, you're eating and consuming that versus eating something that was grown. Okay. And I'm not saying that you cannot eat animals and still be healthy, because you can. Okay, because that would be a lie if I said that you can't. It would be a lie. You can still eat dead animals and still be healthy, but you should be limiting how much you eat of that. That's not supposed to be in every single meal of every single day. Okay? All I'm saying, if you choose to still consume dead animals, you need to still increase your fresh fruits and vegetables. Period. That's always the message. Okay? All right. And always organic. Oh, I meant to put parsley on top, but I forgot. Okay. Yes, you can do parsley or cilantro or microgreens would be great on. I like a broccoli microgreen on top. Okay. So what are your thoughts? So this is something that's going to put you in the mood. So that heat and all the warming spice. Can y'all still hear me? Because I can't hear myself. So the heat and the warming spices stimulate circulation. So it's going to stimulate lubrication in the woman. It's going to stimulate blood flow in the man. And that's not just, that's for any kind of partnership pair, right? So it doesn't have to be heterosexual, whatever, it's just whatever. That's what it's going to do in the male body and what it's going to do in the female body. So this is actually an aphrodisiac meal. You're going to eat, you're not going to be stuffed and get the itis, okay? And then pass out before you even get to start to do anything, right? So you have the healthy proteins, the fat, because you add the coconut milk to it, so you have the fat, so you're getting the water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins absorbed from that. I meant to add some pumpkin seeds on top for crunch, too. Okay, follow the recipe. All that's there. But so you have that as a complete meal, and then you have the ball as a sweet treat that you can feed your partner that's going to further stimulate everything we discussed in the lecture portion. So this is a true aphrodisiac meal. It's going to support the hormones that you need and support attraction, arousal, and desire in a natural way that your body can sustain. So you're not putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. Okay? Okay, any other questions? What are your thoughts? Y'all like it? Okay. Second, y'all can have more. I got more. Okay. Huh? Yes. Microphone. Chandra, give her the microphone. Okay.
Do canned beans have the same nutritional value as dry beans?
Okay, the question is, do canned beans have the same nutritional value as dried beans? Short answer is no. They're not that far off. So here's the thing. The best thing to do is to make your own beans. Well, not only are they cheaper, they taste way better. The texture is far better. Just to soak them overnight and then cook them in the Instant Pot or cook them on your stove. But if you're going to buy canned beans, which I understand is a convenience item, try to buy the best version of canned beans you can. Try to get BPA free and organic, and one that is not added with added salt, the one that uses seaweed instead. There's 2 brands that do that, where they do it in the best way you can stuff on a commercial level. They do it the best. So and Publix consistently has that particular brand I'm referring to. So that's the best way. Now, even though there's BPA, you got BPA B, C, D, E, F, G, right? It's a whole lot of things, but at least make sure it's BPA free, all the things that says free, organic, and that it uses seaweed instead of like a artificial salt brine. Okay. Any other questions?
In the cans, they have the calcium chloride, so that's why I stay away from them.
Correct. That's what I was saying. If you're going to do a canned bean, get the best version of a canned bean and use the ones that use seaweed instead of salt. Okay? Because not only does it add the salty flavor, but the salt draws up the lectins that kind of gives you that flatulence feeling if you're not used to eating enough beans or enough fiber. The seaweed actually takes that out of the beans, so when you cook those, the flatulence is either gone or significantly reduced. Okay?
I have a question. The better than bouillon.
Yes.
What is the sodium count in that?
It's high.
Yeah.
Because it's concentrated. It's intended to go and to be diluted. So if you're just looking at this, it's off the roof. But you're putting this in 10 cups of water, it's a totally different equation.
Okay. And you use the whole.
This is salty. Now, if you're having a salt aversion, you don't want to use this, you don't have to. You can use miso paste. Okay. That way, you'll get the salt flavor without any kind of impact on the body if you're having a sodium aversion. But also, remember, it's not about reducing sodium, it's about increasing potassium, as long as you don't have any kind of kidney issues. Your potassium to sodium ratio, that's what goes hand in hand. You have to increase potassium, not necessarily lower sodium, because sodium is the battery of our bodies, okay? That's the electrical current that our bodies run on. So you should not be eliminating sodium unless you have some type of particular, if you have like chronic kidney disease, something like that, we'll have a different conversation. But in general, if you're in general good health, you should not be reducing sodium per se. You should be increasing potassium, meaning eating lots more green foods, vegetables.
One more question.
Yes.
The meal that we're tasting now.
Yes.
Is it just it is delicious. It's very delicious.
Okay.
Is the bouillon the only thing you use for salt, or did you use?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it. Just that one heaping tablespoon that you saw me use, that's it. That was it. And that's in a whole pot I made for a whole class. Okay. Huh? Absolutely. Any other questions before we adjourn, guys? Okay, well, before we adjourn, this the wrap up. If you haven't gotten your food, you can pick it up at the counter. We do have sea moss available for sale, as well as magnesium spray. This is transdermal, so it will be absorbed directly into your body. You don't have to digest it. Spray it on your body. I do it every night. I sleep naked. I spray on my body. I let it dry where you can rub it in, and you will sleep very deeply and peacefully, okay? If you are open to donating to my sister's cause, the QR code is here. You can scan after class, and I'll be ever grateful for it. But there's no obligation, but if you feel inspired to do so. And then this book is available on Amazon. I'll be doing a book release party sometime before the end of the year, and you all will be invited to that. I'm going to make it a big to-do. Yes, make it a big to-do because it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Follow me on YouTube, please, because these videos for the cooking classes are on YouTube. So you have to subscribe to me on YouTube, The Naija Goddess. Please subscribe. Please don't just watch it, don't subscribe. Please, okay? Okay. Please press the subscribe button. It is free, okay? But that's coming out. So even when our doors physically close here, we'll be opening them up somewhere else. We just don't know the date and location. Date and location is TBD. So thank you all very, very much, and have a beautiful evening, okay? Okay. All right.